Hi, in this video I'll show you how to create a microphone vector graphic using Inkscape. And for those of you who missed my last video, I talked about a couple of channel updates, and one of them is that from now on I will upload the graphics that I create on my Google site where you can download them for free. And I'm talking about the SVG files that you can open in Inkscape and modify them. Just look at them and see how they're made, learn from them or use them in your projects, and that's of course for free. Also, slowly I'll be adding the previously created graphics to the catalog there so you can get them as well. So let's get started. First thing, I'll create the background for this graphic, grabbing this create circles, ellipses and arcs tool. Holding down the control key, I'll click and drag to create a circle, then go to the select and transform tool, and here I'll make sure to change this to pixels and then click on the padlock so I can keep the aspect ratio when I change the width, and I'm going to type in 1600 pixels. This will change the height as well, and now we have this circle. The next thing I'll do is start the fill and stroke tool and click here to highlight this and paste the color. This is the green color that I'm going to use for the background. If you want to use exactly the same color, you can see the numbers in the letters here. Next, I'll grab the create rectangles and squares tool, click and drag like this and change the color to white. Make sure I have pixels here, and I'm going to change the width to 250 pixels and the height to just 50 pixels. Then I'm going to click and drag with this tool again to create another object, and this time I'll change the width to 50 pixels and the height to 80 pixels. Then we're going to need another object, so with the same tool just click and drag like this. Then going back here, and for the width I'm going to type 430 pixels, for the height 730 pixels. For the rounded corners here, this is the vertical radius, I'm going to type 200. Then I'll go here and remove the fill, then go to the stroke, add a flat color, going to the stroke style, I'm going to change it to 50. The next thing I need to do is to convert this object to a path. To do this, I can click on this tool, then use this option here, convert selected object to path, and I also need to use this option, convert selected objects stroke to paths. This way, when I'm using a difference option later and I'm trying to cut this object, it's not going to connect. Let me show you just real quick. If I grab this tool, create rectangles and squares, and create a rectangle, but we need to remove the stroke, add a fill here, and then also click on this option to make the corner sharp, and then adjust this object to around here. So right now I haven't still used this option. Going back to this tool, selecting both objects, go to object, actually to path, difference, and you see how this is going to connect. And I don't want this, I want this to just remain separate. So I'm going to undo this, select this object again, go back to this tool and use this option. Then I can go back to this tool, add this one to the selection. So with both selected, just go to path, difference, and you see what this did now. We managed to cut this object and these two sides did not connect. Next, I have another object to create. So I go back to this tool, click and drag like this, then go to the width here and type in 250 pixels. For the height, 550 pixels. And now for the rounded corners, 120 pixels. Now let's go ahead and start this tool, align and distribute objects. Then I'm going to grab the select and transform tool and position this over here. This one over here, I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit, holding down the control key, turning the mouse wheel backward or forward for zooming in and out, and position this. It could get a little bit inside the other object, that's not a problem. Then grab this one also a little bit inside the other object. Then this one, let's say around here. I'm going to click and drag like this to select all of them and use this option to center on the vertical axis. Now all of them are aligned properly. This object actually looks a little wide, so what can we do is we can select it, then hold down the shift key, mouse over this option, and with the left mouse button just click and drag like this, holding down the shift key. This will affect both sides, so we can just adjust it a little bit like this. Let's see the before with Control Z and Control Y the after. I think this one looks better. Now let's see how the graphic looks like. Also, what we can do at this point is maybe make it a little bit larger. I can select all objects and just again mouse over here, holding down the Control key to keep the aspect ratio, just resize them, make them a little bigger. And then I can use this option to group all of the objects, hold down the shift key to add the background to the selection, and then use this option and this option to center the objects in the middle of the background. Now the last thing we can do is add a shadow, and this one will be a little bit more complicated, but again we're going to drag some guides, drag 1, 2, 3 guides, and then I'm going to double click on the guide and type in -50 for the angle. Then I'm going to double click on the other guide and type in -50 again. The same thing with the other guide as well, -50 for the angle. I'm going to zoom in and start positioning them. One of them will go over here, and let's actually make sure we have these options here, the snapping options enabled. So this needs to be turned on, then this also, and then we can turn on a couple of these to make sure we snap to the object around here. Actually, we're not snapping. We need to turn on this one as well. And for some reason it's still not snapping. Let's see if this one is going to do the trick. Yes. So we see where the higher point is. We snap around here. Now the next one that we need to do is this one here at this edge. So we have one over here that's going to cover this side of the object over here, and I think we need one also over here, and we also need a fourth guide to snap over here. So grabbing one more, double clicking, -50 for the angle, and getting it around here. Let's zoom in to see if we get it at the highest point. Yes. Next I'm going to grab the Bezier tool here and start clicking around here outside of the object. Then I'm connecting this dot over here. Then I'm clicking inside of the object around here. Then I'm clicking over here on this point. Then I need to go back around here to this guide. Then I need to go over here. And I think I just made a mistake. I had to go actually on the other side. So like I said, this is a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to undo. I'm using Control Z to undo some of the points. So I go over here, this snap, over here, then over here. Then I'm going to go around here, then on this point, and then I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to close it like this. So you can see how we just went here, 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 over here, then here, here, and we close the path. Now we can get rid of the guides with the Select and Transform tool, just get them outside, or we can mouse over and just press the delete key. When the guide turns red, just press the delete key to get rid of them. Then making sure this object is selected. Let's close this tool for now and make sure we have a fill of black color, and we remove the stroke. Now let's go ahead and position the object behind this one. So with the Select and Transform tool, selected the object, clicking one time on this option. Then we need to select the background, Control D to duplicate the object, Holding down the shift key, we're going to add this object to the selection. Then we go to object, clip, set. And now we can go ahead and reduce the opacity of this object to maybe 15. And now if you look at the shadow, I think now it will make more sense why we did it the way we did it. You can see if the light is coming somewhere from around here, you can see it will hit the object here, and this is why the shadow should look like this. So I'm going to upload this graphic to my Google site where you can download the SVG file, open it in Inkscape, maybe just look at it, see it up close, or use it in your project. You can change the colors if you want to, you can tweak it a little bit and use it in your project. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope that it was useful. If it was, make sure to give a like, tell me what you think in the comments, visit my channel for more, and if you're new, make sure to subscribe. That's it for this one. Bye for now.